Top 20 Child Caregiver Interview Questions and Answers. Child caregivers offer safe and educational environments for children in the absence of their parents or whenever they are at work. They take care of basic needs such as clothing, dressing, and feeding. This video will look at a few questions that you should expect in a child caregiver interview. 1. Why are you interested in this role? This is one of the commonest questions in interviews. It is usually asked as an opening question. The interviewer will know whether you are a good fit for the job at hand from your motive. Use this question as a chance to sell yourself, convince the interviewer and mention some of the things he or she will gain from your services. Sample answer. I love children. Having been raised in a large family, I mostly took care of my siblings whenever my parents were not at home, which informed my decision to become a child caregiver. I particularly have a soft spot for children living with disabilities and would like to offer my services here, seeing that most children in this home fall under that category. 2. What are the roles of a child caregiver? This question is pretty straightforward, which should not make you break a single sweat. Do you know your mandates as a child caregiver? You can either mention some of the regular duties in your line of work or refer to the job description if provided. All in all, make sure that you only mention roles that relate to your job. Sample answer. As a child caregiver, I take care of the child's needs in the absence of the parents. These include preparing, organizing, and supervising mealtimes, planning a balanced routine complete with physical activities, rest, and playtime, and planning and supervising structured educational activities. You can include as much information as you can. Just make sure it is valid. 3. What qualities does a child caregiver needs to be effective? What does one need to be good at this job? The interviewer expects you to mention the skills, attributes, and behaviors of a child caregiver. We urge you to mention the qualities you possess that have come in handy in your career. Prepare to answer any follow-up question that may be asked as a result of your answer. Sample answer. A child caregiver should have a range of child handling skills and attributes. He or she should be a good decision-maker, a patient and enthusiastic individual, a good communicator, and most of all possess excellent monitoring skills. Other qualities include being informed and physically able. 4. Mention a challenge that you faced in your last role. How did you manage it? Being a child caregiver comes with its challenges. Dealing with children can be pretty difficult, forcing you to put your best foot forward. Mention a situation where you solved a problem in your line of work. Ensure that it highlights your problem-solving skills, which the interviewer is heavily interested in. Sample answer. My last role entailed dealing with an autistic child whose parents were constantly worried. They would call all the time and at times pop up to monitor every move. I understood them, given that this was their only child, but it soon became too much and even threatened my productivity. I assured him that I was a professional child caregiver who had dealt with autistic children before and that they had nothing to worry about. I even let them talk with one of my former employers, who assured him that I was an excellent caregiver. They then gave me the space I needed to do my job well. 5. Describe your daily routine. The interviewer wants to know if you have a deep understanding of your work and what it entails daily. You should pick a packed day and mention all the activities that you do. However, make sure that you only include the relevant ones. You can draw from your daily experiences in your former workplace. Sample answer. I start attending to children early in the morning till late in the evening. Mornings are primarily meant for feeding and playing, which goes on deep into the late morning. I then prepare and serve meals during lunchtime and help the younger children sleep afterward. I then guide others through different activities such as drawing and playing music and attend scheduled meetings with parents. 6. Briefly describe your experience. This is a chance to give an overview of your career in child caregiving. You are allowed to talk about any achievements or outstanding roles in your time in this field. The secret here is to sell yourself and convince the interviewer that you are indeed experienced. Sample answer. This is my 10th year as a child caregiver. I have worked with several children, including those with disabilities. I have also worked in different institutions, including orphanages and daycare centers. Thanks to my experience, I can handle autistic kids better than the average special needs child caregiver. Talk highly of yourself. 7. Mention a strategy and mindset required for this role. How do you approach your duties as a caregiver? Mention a strategy that has seen your reach where you are in your career. Also, make sure that other caregivers can relate to it. As for the right mindset, mention a perspective that guides you in your work. We highly encourage you to draw from your experience. Sample answer. I have realized that the best strategy that any child caregiver can explore is continuously bonding with the kids. Involving oneself in what the child loves most helps create a lasting bond that makes work easier. One also needs a caring mindset, given the nature of this role. 8. Mention the main challenge that you foresee in this role. Every job has its challenges. It is, therefore, upon you to take a look at the job description, potential workplace, and its policies to identify areas that may be problematic once you land the job. However, be careful not to mention a challenge that will leave you looking underskilled. Sample answer. Given my experience in this field, I can confirm that most of the challenges child caregivers face are similar and are not institution-specific. I cannot, therefore, identify a specific challenge at the moment. However, I am willing to tackle and share any that may come up once I get the job. 9. How do you stay motivated in this role? Child caregiving has its fair share of challenges. The interviewer, therefore, wants to know how you usually manage to overlook them and continue giving your best. Mention a source of motivation that is not money-related or material in nature. Sample answer. I love working with and hanging around children. This passion fuels me and helps me overcome any challenge that I face in this job. I am also familiar with the challenges of caregiving, given that I am a mother and cannot, therefore, get easily demotivated. 10. Mention a time that you failed in this role and the lesson you learned. We all fail at one point in life. However, we should mainly focus on the lessons such experiences teach us. Mention a time when you failed in your career, and do not forget to include the lesson you learned. Sample answer. I once did not bother to continuously bond with one of the children I was taking care of. She was mostly silent and receptive to instructions, making me believe that she was okay. However, it soon emerged that she felt left out, and I had to work twice as much to make her feel appreciated. I learned the importance of bringing all kids along and making them feel appreciated. 11. Why do you feel you are the most suited for this job? The interviewer wants to know why you feel you are the best choice out of all the aspiring candidates. This is also another chance to sell yourself. However, do not talk badly of the other candidates but instead focus on your skills, experience, and positive attributes. Sample answer. I am an experienced child caregiver, having spent over 20 years in this field. I have worked in different institutions and entities and have therefore experienced different working environments. I have a vast array of skills to ensure that I can deliver in this job and mold your children well. Sell yourself. Mention anything that will make the interviewer see you as the best option among all the candidates. 12. Share with us your greatest achievement. You must have noticed that most of these questions are geared towards helping the interviewer know more about you. This is a chance to tell the interviewer a milestone that you hold dear. If possible, make sure that the achievement relates to your career. Sample answer. My most outstanding achievement in this line of work was helping an autistic child and later seeing him pass his elementary school education. The mother reached me afterward to thank me. I haven't since forgotten the feeling of joy that this experience brought me. Remember, achievements differ from person to person. Therefore, you don't have to mention something that everyone deems to be a milestone. It can be a feeling that you got, an accolade, or a time in your career that you felt successful. 13. What do you think is the ideal environment in a child caregiving facility? The interviewer wants to know how good you are at your job and whether you can offer the right environment for caregiving. There are several angles through which you can view this question. You can mention the characteristics of such an environment or how it should make children feel. All in all, make sure that you describe an environment where you would also feel comfortable. Sample answer. The ideal environment for child caregiving should be safe, encouraging, loving, positive, and full of laughter. It should take care of the children's emotional, physical, and spiritual well-being and make them feel honored. The caregivers must be willing to walk with the children every step of the way and help them in every way possible. Children should feel as welcome as possible. 14. What would you do if a parent complained about the quality of care you are giving their child? This is a situational question that seeks to understand how you would handle a specific situation. Your approach should be professional and devoid of emotions. Also, this question will reveal how well you can handle criticism and make the right changes. Show the interviewer that you will try your best to act on the feedback offered by the parent without taking it out on the child. Sample answer: I have a massive appreciation for the feedback. Even though I try hard to be good at what I do, I am still human, hence vulnerable to mistakes. I always encourage parents to offer feedback and identify areas they think I should improve on. Therefore, I will carefully and patiently listen to the parent, understand their view, and offer an apology in this instance. I will then explain my view, and we will find a way around it. 15. You have been in this field for quite long. Which skill do you believe every child in your classroom should learn? The interviewer is delving into the specifics of your job. This is a chance to highlight some of the skills you hold dear. Talk about a healthy habit or attitude that you believe every child you interact with should learn by the end of your sessions. Sample answer: Every child I interact with should learn to respect other children and elders, express their emotions well and work on their fine motor skills. These skills will help them excel in their elementary education and are therefore essential. I also believe that they should learn how to care for the environment. 16. What do you think is the most important thing that should prevail in a child-caregiver relationship? The interviewer wants to know some of the things you hold dear in your relationship with the children you give care to. Mention an attribute that you believe should be mandatory in every child-caregiver relationship. Also, please explain your answer and help the interviewer understand why you find it essential. Sample answer: I believe that the most crucial thing that should prevail in a child-caregiver relationship is mutual trust. A child will be willing to tell you anything if they trust you and feel trusted. It also paves the way for other things to follow, making your work as a child caregiver easier and more effective. 17. Could you rate your childcare skills? The interviewer wants you to rate how good you are at this job. Be careful when answering this question to avoid giving an unrealistic rating. It is okay to feel that you are not there yet. However, make sure that you back up your rating with an explanation. Sample answer: I would rate myself 8/10. I am an excellent child caregiver, but I cannot give myself a 10 because of new information and things I am yet to learn. Therefore, the missing 2 are for everything I haven't learned yet. 18. From your experience, what do you think a child wants most from a caregiver? This is a pretty straightforward question. What do children demand most from you? Show that you have extensive knowledge of child development and can cater to their needs. Remember, you will only get a chance if you convince the interviewer that you are good at this job. Sample answer: I have realized that children mostly want to be loved, taken care of and listened to, and understood by their caregivers. They want to feel special and valued. My knowledge of child development helps me know what every age needs. 19. Do you have any experience dealing with children having special needs? This is where you tell the interviewer whether you have handled a child with special needs. It can be autism, a hearing problem, or an issue with the child's sight. Be honest. Sample answer: No, however, I am willing to take up such a position if it comes up. I am a first learner and will therefore be good once brought to speed. Give an explanation of the condition and your experience if you have handled such a kid. 20. What are some of the educational activities students enjoy in your classes? Children should have fun whenever you are with them. However, some of the activities should be educational. Your answer should stem from your daily experience. Sample answer: I use several puzzles, physical and memory games to keep children engaged, depending on their age. You can also be as specific as possible and mention these games and puzzles.